Okay, so we had to start the recording over because my computer died because it wasn't charging. Anywho, we're going to be reacting to Pokemon Journeys. Just dropped so many hidden bombshells. Now, Pokemon Journeys, Ash is leaving, and he's not going to be the main character anymore, so we're going to have new people, and it's going to be sad, but we have 11 episodes to, honor Ash and have one more adventure before he leaves. But apparently, Pokemon Journeys just dropped some crazy stuff, and we're going to find out what that is.
The final episode of Pokemon Journeys.
And once again, we're eating chicken marsala. Not really marsala, I don't know what this is, but it's some chicken with some green bean and caramelized onions and other delicious stuff. Let's do it.
Aired last week, and it was absolutely packed full of little references, Easter eggs, callbacks, character returns, and much more. Many of these things were obviously noticed by everybody, like the singing Jigglypuff returning, Misty returning, Ash reuniting with Ho-Oh, but there were also a lot of little potential references that I didn't really see many people at all talking about. So today, let's talk about all the things that you may have missed in the final episode of Pokemon Journeys. But before we begin, you know the drill, be sure to smash the subscribe button if you enjoy this video, and if you find out anything new. We're just a few thousand from the big 100,000, so I would really appreciate it. So now let's dive into the episode. We're going to be going through it in a really quick pace, in a random order, so prepare yourself. In this scene of Chloe's house, a framed photo of a Clefable and a Clefairy can be seen on the wall, which is a reference to the Clefairy that Professor Cerise befriended as a kid, which later evolved into a Clefable. Clearly that encounter meant a lot to him. The scene where Team Rocket attacks Ash and Go takes place in the exact same location where Ash battled Oliver in episode 20 of Pokemon Journeys. I think that's some really nice world building continuity. In this scene of Leon watching Hop vs Bee, Leon is wearing his Battle Tower outfit, meaning that after losing his World Monarch status in the Masters 8, he must have went on to transform the Rose Tower into the Battle Tower, just like he did in the games. In the final scene where Chloe is out on a research task, she witnesses a Cherrim blossoming from Overcast form to Sunshine form. Chloe's entire character design and her name in Japanese are based on cherry blossoms and the beginning of spring, so Chloe witnessing a Cherrim, which is a cherry blossom, blossoming, is a reference to how Chloe has come into her own and blossomed into a more confident person, now out in the world doing her own research and everything. In this scene, Go's giant Magikarp is considerably much smaller. I mean, look at it in this scene and then compare it to how it was originally. It used to be so huge, but now it's absolutely tiny, so what's the deal? Is it shrinking over time, or is it just an animation error? Mysterious indeed. In another scene, after all of their love dramas and love affairs, Go's Pinsir and Heracross can be seen a final time, at long last, happily in love with each other. I think these two love bugs are gonna stick together now and make the distance. You do love to see it. If you look closely in the scene where Suicune returns, you can see Ash and Go saying goodbye to all of Go's Pokemon at Cerise's lab before they leave to go on their new journeys. It's really wholesome how Go's Pokemon are crowded around them, and Ash is shaking hands with Scizor. Such a nice scene, dude, and I really wish we got to actually see it, rather than it just being sort of in the background. Surprisingly, this scene here is the first time Giovanni's Persian has appeared in the entirety of Pokemon Journeys. How insane is that, dude? Persian hasn't appeared once. Throughout the episode, Ren's Magnemite can be seen wearing his little hat that Ren made for it in episode 93. That's some really nice continuity, man. And I must say, Magnemite looks mighty cute in that hat. Before Ash and Go split apart to begin their new journeys, they passed through the exact same fork in the road where Ash, Misty and Brock parted ways at the end of the original series. This is the exact same location where the original trio said goodbye to each other. I was literally so excited when I realised this. It is such a beautiful callback, everybody. Wow. In Team Rocket's final scene of the episode where they watch Ash battling a trainer, they surprisingly do not have Morpeko with them for the first time in forever. Does this mean Morpeko is no longer a member of Team Rocket? Have they left it behind like they do with all of their Pokemon? Who knows, only time will tell. And speaking of that scene, the Pokemon trainer who Ash is battling is designed to look like Kunihiko Yuyama, a main director and creative supervisor of the Pokemon anime. He even storyboarded this episode, and Lapras is his favourite Pokemon, so that's why the trainer has a Lapras. How cool is it that they based the final trainer that Ash battled on the director and creative supervisor of the Pokemon anime? In one of the final scenes, if you look closely, you can very briefly see in Ash's mum's living room a framed photo of Ash and Go having fun, and beside it a framed photo of Ash and Leon after the Masters ate. Does that mean that Go is Ash's mum's favourite of Ash's companions? I mean, she has a framed photo of him in her living room, and I don't see a framed photo of Misty or Brock or Serena anywhere, so who knows? Also, in that same scene, we see that Mimey has finally returned home by Delia's side. It's about time, man. In the scene where Ash reunites with his Butterfree and Butterfree's girlfriend, the anime finally added the gender difference black spots on Pink Butterfree's wings, finally confirming that Pink Butterfree is indeed female. But what's really strange is that the entire purpose of Ash's Butterfree being released was for the two Butterfree to begin a family together. Yet, I'm not seeing any family or any children in this scene. Where on earth are your children, Butterfree? Maybe they're elsewhere? Who knows? In the final 3 scenes of the episode, the scene focused on Chloe shows a trainer with a Blastoise in the background, whereas the scene focused on Go shows a trainer with a Charizard in the background, whereas the scene focused on Ash shows a trainer with a Venusaur in the background. I don't know if this has any significance, but maybe it's suggesting the starter Pokemon that Go and Chloe would choose. Chloe with Blastoise, Go with Charizard, Ash with Venusaur. Finally, in the scene where Ash and Go are riding on Lugia, many significant Pokemon can be seen if you look closely. First of all, the Abra that Go met when he was a kid. Secondly, Mewtwo can be seen flying in the background with the abandoned Pokemon that he's looking after. Thirdly, the shadows of the 3 legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres, can be seen over the water. And now the next 2 aren't confirmed, but I'm really confident about them. Ash looks up in shock and sees a flock of Pidgeot flying overhead, led by one Pidgeot in particular. Ash's Pidgeot was released in the original series to help protect and raise a flock of Pidgey, and now the anime purposely showed an entire flock of Pidgeot in Ash's final episode of the main series. I mean, come on, that has to be Ash's Pidgeot, dude. Ash even smiles when he sees it. The anime writers put everything into this episode, so I think this is one final look at Pidgeot before Ash's journey ends. And shortly after, Ash flies over a herd of Lapras in the Kanto Ocean, and one specific Lapras in particular looks up at Ash, making direct eye contact with him, and then that one Lapras calls out to Ash, smiling and looking super happy, while Ash looks back at it also in happiness. Come on, once again, this has to be Ash's Lapras that he released. There is no way they'd purposely anime and voice one specific Lapras to emphasize it looking up at Ash and calling out to Ash in his final episode without it being significant. So once again, I really think the people working on the anime found a really casual and sneaky way to bring back Ash's Lapras in its herd and Ash's Pidgeot in its flock to commemorate the end of Ash's journey. I mean, out of all the Pokemon to show leading a big group, they show a Pidgeot and a Lapras? That cannot be a coincidence, dude. I'm 100% sure they intended for this to be Ash's Pidgeot and Ash's Lapras. Finally, huge shout out to Dogasu for spotting this, but this episode featured every single Generation 1 Pokemon, except for the 2 fossil lines, Kabuto, Kabutops, Omanite and Omastar, probably because it would have been too hard to show them, and except for the 3 banned Pokemon in the anime, Kadabra, Jinx and Porygon. It's so incredibly perfect that Ash's final main series episode showed every single Pokemon from the original 151 that it could. Such an amazing nod to where Ash's journey began. And that is everything that I think you may have missed in the final Pokemon Journeys episode. This video ended up way longer than expected, but dude, there was so many references and callbacks, it was crazy. The Lapras and Pidgeot ones are the ones that I'm most excited about, but let me know in the comments if you learned anything new from this video. Also, let me know if you think there's anything that I missed in the episode. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Once again, we're aiming for the huge goal of 100,000 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot to me. Be sure to follow me on Twitch and join our Discord server using the links in the pinned comment. And I think that's everything. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
You want to know what I think? Betrayal's real. Ash shouldn't leave, but he is. And it's making him even more important than earlier. And now I'm glad I got to see all those TikTok edits of Ash being a savage before it was announced that he was leaving. It makes the send-off better. The TikTok ones where he'd be like, season 1 actually says some wild stuff. He's like, this random kid's all like, oh, this camera's my life. And he's like, you need to get a new life. And then he starts to do some crazy edits, and it's like all silhouette-y and freaking shiny and after image looking stuff. And the music's like, and it's awesome, bro. It's awesome. But anywho, that was a pretty interesting video. That was lit. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool. Lots of knowledge, honestly. But alright, man. Y'all, until next time. Thanks for showing up. Peace.